Welcome back to an update video. We are talking today about AMC, GME, BYND, FFAI, GNS and NIO, DJT and DJT. If you're interested, just stay tuned. As always, I'm using the Fractal method. Explanation video for that I will put at the end of the video. Okay, well then let's jump into AMC. So today we will talk about everything, just so everyone is on the same page. We start with the macro tracking, then we go into the micro tracking, then we look at the 2 and an EMA, and at the end we also look at price targets. And of course, for our disbelievers, I also have some nice examples. So for the macro tracking, it's pretty easy. I think we are in fractal number 3 right now. What does it mean? Our first fractal was this year till 2021, and we didn't see the whole fractal here. After that, fractal 2 started from 2021 till today. And this is a full finished fractal in the bullish case, where we saw everything. And right now we should start fractal 3. Okay, for the whole explanation, in 2021 we made our V. We broke out, especially we broke out of this multi-year trend line. We broke out, made our first part, fall back, didn't broke this trend line again, and not even that, only that, we also did a perfect 618 pullback. Then we did this little blah blah in here, and a few months later we broke to our all-time high. Then we were dropping till today. Perfect lower high, perfect midpoint. I know I had my T before here. It makes more sense to put our last time to sell bottom here. But the thing is, it doesn't change the fractal at all. It just makes more sense for the bearish version, but to that later. So when we are really finished here, down here, and we will look at that in the micro tracking, what are our next steps? So this red line here is the same like this yellow line here. So if we track this bullish, our next move is a breakout out of this trend line. And after that, a retest of this trend line. And because we did a 618 in 2021, in my opinion, we will do the 618 now too. So this is the reason why we will go for the price targets later, this main price target, because you don't want to break under this trend line again. And the 618 is here. So your pretty optimistic target would be 184, just for the first part. And to say this, yeah, I'm one of the people who I'm looking more for a 2-part squeeze. If we do a 1-part squeeze, fine. If we just repeating the fractal of 2021, we will do a 2-part. We will break out, we will retest. Same thing, this little sideways uptrending bullish channel took you in 2021 116 days. I think because the fractal is always getting bigger and slower, I would say that this part here would be 200 days-ish. It will take you into 2027. Could be wrong, but for me, this is our squeeze this year. The second one will be 2027, if we're not just doing a 1-part, to say that. The second one will be up here, which is fucking stupid, but okay. Okay, before we go into price targets and so on, we look at the micro tracking. And I posted this little really, really short video on Friday on purpose, because, I mean, this looks fucking great. What do I mean? So, for my old viewers, you already saw that. All 1-hour charts, left side today, then 2021, then 2024, 2025. All hours, all 3 squeezes we had in AMC, and all quite similar run-ups. Yeah? In 2021, we did a V, a little higher low, ran up to A. In 2024, we did a V, just ran up to A, pullback. In 2024, we did a big higher low and then ran up to A. The difference between these charts are the up move, and in 2021, we did a 0.5 pullback. In 2024, we did a 618 pullback. And in 2025, we came close to the 0.5. And in 2026, we came close to the 0.5. So the only thing which all three squeezes have one-to-one in common is the higher low. Every single one of them. And here comes the thing why I made the video on Friday, which I promised that I look at AMC. We finished the higher low from levels here, because this here is our A. Here's our A bottom. We went under it and we kind of bounced. So we are near the 786, so maybe in pre-market we still have to go under, what is this, 148. But otherwise, for the absolute bullish version, that's it. Everything is finished. Upside. Yeah, that would be the bullish version. Yeah, upside. The only alternative to this, which I also showed, is this here, where this peak, which we did since Wednesday, is just the little M, and we still have to come down to the 0.5, bounce there, up to D, fall down to the 618, which is 123, doing then the higher low and go. But what I also said is, my main target is Friday 15 to Monday the 18th of May. That's 5 trading days. We are running out of time for this shit. Just saying. Yeah, doing this in 5 trading days is, even for AMC, quite a lot. Yeah, but just to have this odd, if you touch or break 141, this level here, you will do this. End of story. Yeah. If you just go up from here, you're doing version 1. Yeah. Before we go in, one last alternative, just saying, because some people are always saying we still have to go to 80 cents and then we squeeze. For my tracking, to make that absolutely clear, whatever we are doing, if you touch or break $1.09, it's over for this year. Yeah, then this was the peak for this year, and you will do all-time lows. If you break $1.09, you will go to 550, 40, 30 for the rest of the year. And in that case, just saying bankruptcy or reverse split. Yeah, there's no other way. And this will drag out till 2027. Just saying. For me personally, there's no other way. Yeah, not looking like that, and I'm fucking bullish, but touching or breaking 109 is bad. So, what happens if we're not going down on Monday, but we are not squeezing? There's only one way, and I really have to say, because my main target is still Friday the 15th, May 18th, Monday, still. So we have to do something till then. Well, this is 2021, January, our V. Here is our little A. And for tracking 1-to-1, we would be right now finishing this higher low. So if we're not just squeezing on Monday, I'm pretty convinced we will do just this the whole next week. Yeah, breaking upside, this would bring you to $3-5 doing this pullback, and Monday the 18th you are doing our squeeze. Yeah? And to say this would be the most fucking asshole move AMC could do, because we would go up, people, hey, we are squeezing. Oh fuck, we're not. We are selling everything. Yeah, no financial advice. Yeah, but yeah, would be the most asshole move. And of course, and that's the next thing, this will break the 200 EMA. So now we're coming to the 200 EMA. Here is our blue line. The blue line is the 200 EMA. The 200 EMA right now is sitting at what directly on the daily chart? $2.02, $2. Yeah. So we don't have the place, the space for this. We just don't. The difference between now and 2021 is that the 200 EMA in 2021 was way higher. Yeah, the 200 EMA, if it would be the same like back then, would be here. Yeah? So there was always this theory that when we break the 200 EMA, whoever, they are losing control and we squeeze. I mean, yeah, the 200 EMA was always, since 2021, the rejection line. The thing with if we break, we automatic squeeze is quite not true. Yeah? Because in 2024 we broke it. Okay, it was just a wick. It was only pre-market. Fine. Okay, so in that case, forget it. In July 2023, it was already 2 days. We stayed 2 days over the 200 EMA. In August 2022, we even were 15 days over the 200 EMA. In March 2022, we stayed 7 days over the 200 EMA. So I would say, yeah, the 200 EMA was likely a EMA which pressed us down. But what if it doesn't matter this time anymore? Yeah, we got many holds here. Yeah, just to preserve the fractal. Yeah, because the fractal had to be downside. But right now, there is no reason anymore. The fractal for the bullish case is finished. So what if the 200 EMA doesn't matter anymore? Maybe. Yeah. So just saying, if we go downside, it's the bullish alt, the bearish alt till Friday. If you touch a break 109, for me personally, it's over. If you just gap up and squeeze Monday, perfect. If not, I still the opinion it will take till the 15th and the 18th. And because we have to do something till then, it will be just this move. Most likely this will be Monday, Tuesday. This will be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And this will be just going. Yep. Let's see. Now to the bracket. So here are my price targets, my brackets. And to say that again, absolutely clearly, no financial advice for this. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. First bracket is just the bearish alternative. Yeah. Not the bearish, but it's still bearish. That would mean we are not going over the high of 2024. Yeah. That also means we're rejecting this trend line here, the main trend line. That would mean we would come up here, reject, going to new all-time lows. Yeah. And this will take earliest 2027. The shitty part here is, it would be $9-ish. The shitty part here is there's no confirmation for this. Yeah. Because you would maybe open here with a gap up or quickly run up to here and then you will reject. But nobody can tell you if this is just a little pullback and up again or if this just was it and down. That's the shitty part. In the best way, you just skip this and forget it. Yeah. But well, if we open here, I will take profit. Not everything, but the danger. Yeah. The next shitty part here is this fucking move here could be just what we are talking about a few minutes ago. That's the shitty part. But nobody said it would be easy. Yeah. Okay. Next one. Price target number 2. It's just there because we have a gap here. It's the last gap for AMC. And also to say this, if we do this, yeah, this would be even normal charting fundamentally at trend change. Yeah. So if we do this, this would just show the world that AMC will survive. At the same time, it makes for me no sense to just do this, just to say this. To only go to 48 isn't making sense for me. Yeah, I mean, it is a gap, but yeah. The third price target is my main version. Yeah, because of the 618, and it's something between 100 and 185. Yeah. Also, I think this way, for timing, we look in a second, but we should pretty fucking run up here, quick open here, and then the knife down will be also, in my opinion, on the same day, maybe 2 days. Just saying. You don't have time to think here, but we come in that in a second. Yeah, and the fourth one is just, if we're doing a one-part squeeze, yeah, we just run to all-time highs. Yeah. Also for this, I would think it's this trend line. Yeah, so something around 900 or something like that. Just our main trend line, which also was our target for 2021. Yeah. So, to a few questions and things before we go further. First of all, the question, how would the squeeze look like? Yeah, I mean, a squeeze would look like this. Yeah. Most likely it will take 1 or 2 days. Yeah, like 2021, like May 2024, or a week, something like that. Also, the pullback should be fucking quick, maybe even on the same day. Just to say that you shouldn't hold your contracts, but no financial advice. The peak of all moves were in pre-market. Also to say that absolutely clear. Yeah. Open will be already lower, but I mean, you will still be able to make a lot of money if you do these moves, but the peak will be in pre-market, in my opinion. Next thing, no financial advice. Same things which I said in the last video. First of all, stop losses on your contracts, also on your shares, but especially on your contracts, will fuck you. What I mean with that, let's say one of your contracts is $100 worth, and you put in a stop loss at 80. You will have a lot of volatility at these states. Yeah, so you will have jumps $20, $50, $60 in seconds. A stop loss will throw you out 100%. And not even that. Let's say, as I said, $100 your contract is worth. Your stop loss is 80. You get a wick down, a quick one. In the worst case, you're not selling at 80. You're selling at 20. And you lose a lot of money. No financial advice, but stop losses will kill you. Just saying. Second, market orders. Same thing like the stop losses. Yeah. There's no guarantee that if you put a market order in, that you're selling at the top prices. It's also possible that you're selling to the low prices. So, in my opinion, don't do that. The only way to do that is limit prices. And of course, it's a lot of stress. Let's say we open at 150. Yeah. Or it's 5 minutes before market open. And the price is 150. I wouldn't put in a limit order for 150 or 149, just saying. Go $10 under it, 130 or something like that. At these prices, who cares? But then you have a bigger chance to get filled. The worst thing which can happen is it's 150, you put in a sell order 149, but oh shit, it's already 148. So you're putting 147. Oh shit, it's already 140. And you are just trying to get out. Yeah. No. Just go a little bit under the price and who cares? Just a tip for me. Next tip, which I also said in the last video. Of course, everything, no financial advice. Today is Sunday. Yeah. If we're really going next week, write a plan. Telephone, PC, mobile, iPad, paper. Write a plan down where you go out. Yeah. Make, I don't know, 30% here, 40% here, and so on and so on. Write exactly down what your price targets are. And just to say that, no, you don't write on this letter, yeah, my price target is 500. No. Make, it doesn't have to be the same price targets like me, yeah, but make 4 price targets from low to high, yeah. So in the best case, you have here 10% for something stupid, yeah. Here you have 40. Here you have 50, yeah, something like that. So write it down, make your own plan. And on Monday, if we squeeze, doesn't matter if it's this Monday or the 18th, you're just at open, sitting here, looking at this paper, for example, and just do what is standing on the paper without thinking about it. Just do what is standing on it and do it. Don't think about it. Maybe we're going more. No, just do what it is on this paper. You will be emotional. I know a handful of people who are not getting emotional in such times. Just do what is written on this letter, or you will lose. You will fight with your own brain. I tell you that. Yeah? Just a little tip. Next, or one last thing. After you did this trade, after you are completely out of your shares or contracts, shut down the PC or the phone, or just don't look at the chart anymore. Just for this day, don't look at it. So you don't get into FOMO or some bullshit. You close the trade, you made your money, you go away. Yeah, just an emotional tip. And one last thing, I will still make the videos, but as I said in the previous videos before, if we are in the squeeze, I will still Tuesday upload a video, for example. So let's say on Monday we are in the first part of the squeeze. I will still upload a video on Tuesday. I won't talk about AMC. I already said that. And you can, of course, comment and ask questions. But if you ask me, is this the top? Should I sell? And so on and so on. I say it again, I can't from the law answer you that, and I don't want to answer you that as a human. Yeah, I don't want to have this stress. Just imagine, I tell somebody, okay, we are at 100. This is the top, you should sell. And then on the next day, why ever we're running to 500? No, I won't do that. Same thing, we are opening at 9 and I'm saying, well, that doesn't look so good. And on the next day, we're sitting at 150, same thing. Yeah. So for AMC on these days, I go really dark. Yeah. I presented everything. I presented my price targets. In the squeeze days, I think every really serious tracker, Fractal tracker, will tell you the same. Make the plan, do it. Everyone who is sitting live is for me a scammer at these days, because yeah, it's just horrible. But okay, do what you want. For all my haters and non-believers, because that's not possible. Yeah, we can't do that. Yeah, when I say well, but we already did that in 2021. Yeah, we went 3,000% in 2021. Yeah, but this was different times. It was a different market. It's not possible this time anymore. Okay, fine. It's a good answer. Just explain to me, why is it possible for Intel now? Yeah, because here, low, there, 600%. Same for, why is it possible for SPY? We never saw something like this. Also possible. Why is it possible for MU? We went from 58 to 759. Yeah. So saying this is not possible because it's AMC and it's never happening on any other stock, or it's not happening in 2026. Just be open-minded. You see it all over the stock market that it is fucking possible. But I mean, if you don't believe it, don't play it. Good. Next one is GME. For GME, we quite have we have the same thing. We have three possibilities we can do. 2 bullish one, and 1 is killing us. Yeah. But for GME, it's quite the same. Yeah. We have our V. We had our 1-part squeeze. So GME for sure is doing a 1-part squeeze. We pulled back and did our 1-part squeeze again in 2024, pulled back. So in the great screen, and so for the super macro tracking, you have to imagine it like this here. This is your V. Here's your A, here's your B, here's your C. But what A, B, C is that? For the bullish tracking, this whole thing, in my opinion, is just super macro higher low. Yeah, I mean, this will take years, 10, 15, 20 years, just saying. Yeah? And after that, there's just coming A. Yeah, whatever will become out of GameStop. I mean, yeah, with eBay, what super company or whatever. Yeah? So we are right now just on the run to our little B for the higher low, just saying. So for the squeeze for GME, you have a 1-part. Yeah. After you did your 1-part, you fell down. Yeah. In 2021, you first of all, you retested this trend line. Second, it was quite a perfect 0.5 pullback. In 2024, you also made a 1-part, you fall back, and in 2024, it was a 618 pullback. Yeah? But this is also just higher low. In both cases, you knife down, you come up and do your 2nd part, but the 2nd part is a lower high. So before we go into micro tracking, what is the target for GME? For GME, I only have 1 target, and the target is 376. Yeah, just this trend line here from IPO in 2008, we broke a little bit over it. It was the end of 2021, and in my opinion, it will be the end of 2026. Yeah, I mean, maybe we're breaking over it a little bit, 500, but I wouldn't think something like 5,000 and all this bullshit. I mean, maybe I could be wrong, but I only can track what I see. So for me, it would, no financial advice, 380, 400-ish. Then we will instantly knife down. Same like 2021, same like 2024. We will come up again. We will make a lower high. And then 5-6 years pullback. Same like 2021, 2026. This pullback will take longer. And after that, then we can go to the thousands. Yeah? In 5-6 years. So for the tracking itself, this is our A. Yeah, doesn't matter if it's now the A of higher low or A of A, whatever. This here is just higher low of this A. Now we go to big B. So for the micro tracking, let's zoom into the micro tracking. We bounced pretty perfect, even on Friday. It was a pretty nice bounce. Yeah. So this is our A, low high, midpoint T, V. We went over T. We did our, let's look, 618 pullback. So in the best case, like AMC, we are squeezing on Monday. Just up, up, up. For GME, it's a one part. So before we go into the bullish alternative, just saying, because I see that all the time. I don't know, maybe it's the algorithm. Yeah? But right now, everything I read is GME will knife to 17 next week, 100%. The stupid part is at the same time, but AMC will go up. I mean, there is a bearish alternative, yeah, where GME knifes to 17, but then AMC is dying too. They are not going inverse. It makes no sense. We talked about that in the last video already. But for GME, if GME is touching the 786 FIB from the November low to the peak right now, that would mean if you touch 2130, yes, you will knife. To make that absolutely clear, because this can't be A anymore, this would be small t. And in that case, you will knife. Only problem with this is, this T is just a small t of this M. That means 17 would be the end. You will come down, knife to 17, will come up again. Then you're doing the real T of this whole thing, and your end target for this whole shit would be 1550 or something below that. Then you have to do the higher low, and then you go. This, oh, it's just the next thing, because these people are saying we have to knife to 17, which makes no sense to stop here, and then we squeeze. No. In my opinion, if you do that, this will take the whole year. Just saying, or even longer. Yeah? Just as an odd, yeah, because always as an odd. Yeah? 2130 breaking is bad. Yeah. So the bullish alternative, the same thing like AMC, because what if we are not going down on Monday, but we are also not squeezing? What is GME doing then? Well, GME will just do this. Where is it? Yeah. That would be the move. We would be right now here. Yeah. May 1st, 2024. And we will do this all next week. While AMC is going up and doing its pullback, GME will just do this. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And then Monday the 18th, poof. That's for GME. Yeah. If you're not going down, this should be the thing. Yeah. If you're just going sideways, I would just sit in front of this PC. You know this little GIF with the rabbit? I would look in the monitor like that. Really? I don't have landmarks left anymore. Yeah. And also one thing, because people are saying, yeah, why it have to be May, June. Look back, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. May, June was always a top. If you're not getting a peak in May, June, this was already the peak of May. The rest of the year is downside. We never squoze in July, August, October. Never. November, December. Never. So, yeah. Okay. Did I forget anything? Don't think so. For price targets again. Yeah, 300 to 400. There is just nothing in between. Yeah. There is no price targets in between here for me personally. Yeah. Up or down. Yeah. But there is no 1, 2, 3, 4 like AMC. No. For GME, it has to be up. Okay. Next one, BYND. So for BYND today also, full story. For BYND, the IPO started in the last run up to its peak, to C. Then we did the low high, midpoint, T. And then in the best bullish case, we did our V, our all-time low in October 2025. Since then, we did the higher low, and the higher low, I'm still the opinion, was finished on April 2026. Also, before we go into the micro tracking, I don't see a synchronization with AMC and GME because the peak was August 2019. And when AMC and GME squoze, BYND did its lower high. So if not something terrible is happening to AMC and GME, we have no time to do this before the squeeze of AMC and GME. It's just no time. Yeah. And if we look at May 2024, this here is May 2024 for BYND, it didn't really move with the second squeeze of AMC and GME. So I think BYND will do its own thing. It can move with the memes, yeah, but it doesn't have to. Before we go into the micro tracking, our next target is still our next big A, yeah, which has to be over 15, under 43, which still should be July, August. Then B should be over 43, under 200, and then breaking all-time high or not. Before we go into micro tracking, because I already got this question, can we move the goalpost longer than this? Yeah? Because in the earlier tracking here was May, June. And I clearly say this, no. This state can't be moved, no financial advice. Why? First of all, this May, June target here. This was back in the days where we were here. And in this earlier tracking, we had this as the ending of the macro higher low, and this was our small higher low. This was finished when we broke this line, because if you break this, this can't be the low of the higher low, of course. So this became our T. Yeah? So this state here is the result of this high and this low. Yeah? The May-June date was this high and this low. Of course, when you break it, it can't be true anymore. So the thing is, why can't this be moved then anymore? Because the only way to move this goalpost is when you break this low again. But you should be already out before we break this low. Yeah, I will comment that a second, but the only way that it isn't this target is if you break under this, and breaking under this is the death of BYND. Just saying. Okay, now for the micro tracking. So, was an interesting week last week because of earnings. Yeah. In in my opinion, there are only three ways. Yeah. And in my opinion, there is only one way. Yeah. This is our little A. Yeah. This little A is not finished yet, in my opinion. We had tracking for it, that it was finished, but with this pullback, no. And I mean, I already said it on Friday. I think we were up here. Yeah, we will go lower. Yeah, perfectly shown here. I said with this pullback, we went too low. Yeah, and we will go even lower. Yeah, what is this? This is our little A. This is our lower high. This is our midpoint. But this midpoint isn't finished yet. Yeah, you still have to finish this M. You have to go lower than where it started. So you have to break 80 cents. Yeah. So in my opinion, you will go a little bit lower. You maybe even come up again through this trend line. This will be your T. And then you will come down to this trend line here. M, T. So something around 72 cents-ish. Or, let me look, where's our points? Where's our VNA? Our VNA is here, yeah, 78. So you can also bounce at 77. You don't have to touch this trend line, yeah. That's why I showed you also in the alarm video on Friday, something in this range will be your bounce area, in my opinion, yeah. And then you just go up. Before we look what can happen here, because I said, if we break this low, 57 cents, it's over. In my opinion, if you touch or break 70 cents, it's already over. Yeah, because this here is your 786 FIB. Yeah, A isn't allowed to do a 786 FIB. It isn't. The only thing which is allowed to do 786 is the higher low. But for the higher low, we went too high up. So if we touch the 70, this isn't A anymore. This is also not higher low. This becomes M. But if this is M, you will come down here. You will go up. You will do your big T and you will break all-time low. And that's why I am saying the only way to move this goalpost is if this play is dying. Because if you break all-time low, this whole higher low is dead. This becomes T. You will go down, I don't know, 30, 20, 10 cents. And even if you're not doing a reverse split here or going OTC, you still have to do then the higher low. This will add so much time. This is unplayable. Then, just saying. If you touch 70, it's a very bad sign. Confirmation, if you break 57, I am out. I mean, I'm already out here, in my opinion. Yeah. Not thinking that, but as an alternative. So, before we go into the normal tracking, the only 0.50001% chance to go up on Monday and squeeze is if, let's put it away, if this is some kind of weird higher low. The same thing AMC was doing, what I'm showing. Yeah? Because for a higher low, we went, in my opinion, way too high. Yeah? But AMC did that in 2021, 4 and 5. So as long as you're not touching 80 cents, this could be just a weird thing of a higher low. And you have to go up on Monday. Yeah. But as in the moment you break 80, no chance. And also to just a little warning, I have examples for AMC. I showed you that. I have no example that BYND did ever do this. So for me, this is still main tracking. Also, we are on the 1 hour chart. So I still think we finish this till Friday. Yeah? And then Monday go. So what will happen then? So if we do that, yeah, what is the next step? Well, our next step is two things. First, I said in the last video, we can do something stupid. But we only can do something stupid after we finish the ladder. So if we do that till Friday, we can just go parabolic up, whatever, 13, 50, 200, whatever. If not, you're doing just a small step by step again. The next step, small, slow step, so we can get into July, is we're doing little b. Little b most likely will be something around $76-ish. Yeah? Then again, you're doing the 0.5 pullback from our A low here. Then, when this is finished, you can again do something fucking stupid. If not, you will just go to your C, which is our big A, which is something between 15 and 43. Here, it's now changing, because these pullbacks take days, weeks. This pullback here will be longer. Just saying that, okay? This is a main capital. This is main macro A. And if you look back, all our main letters, so the higher low to the V was, let me look, 164 days. The T to the V was 600 days. The M to the T low was 450 days. The L to the M, 450 days. The C to the beginning of L was 200 days. Yeah, so I think you get what I'm saying. Yeah, this pullback here will take longer, in my opinion, because it's a main capital. Yeah, so wherever we peak here, just saying this can take at least a year, in my opinion. Yeah. Yes. So, but of course, if you look back at L, at M, at T, at higher low, you kinda never saw really an A pullback and B pullback. The only thing is we never saw macro A and macro B. Yeah, we only saw the last bit of B to C. Yeah, we saw something like this. Yeah, this is this. So who knows? I mean, this, if you look here, this is just a vertical candle. So it could just be wherever we are finished with this little bullshit here, that maybe it was really just this. Yeah, and that would mean we just do this. Could be. Yeah, could be. Yeah. If not, if you just look for normal price movements, and BYND is a meme stock, so, but if not, July, August is something in here. Just saying. Yeah, no financial advice, but I'm still bullish on BYND. Good. Next one, FFAI, the stock I just hate. Okay. Full story today again. So peak, all-time high was C, of course, lower high, midpoint T. And this V here in April has to be the all-time low. Otherwise, it will die. So whatever we're doing down here, before we look at this, our next target is A, something over $4, B, something over 153, and C is at 1,300 whatever. And you will not see this. Anything over the M line you won't see without the forward split. Yeah, you already had 3 reverse splits, and I never saw a stock with 3 reverse splits that it came up here without a forward split. In my opinion, it's impossible. This time I really have to say it, without a reverse forward split, this is your maximum price target. But I mean, who cares? I mean, from 40 cents to 100, who cares? I also have another play I will show today, but who cares? Also, synchronization with AMC and GME. I looked at it again, and the thing is, if you look at IPO, this here was January 2021. So it ran with the memes in 2021. So, okay, maybe there's a chance when AMC and GME are squeezing this or next week, that this thing is also running. Also, one thing, if you look at L, if you look at M, kinda T, I don't think you will get the A or B pullbacks. It always gets fucking vertical. And especially if we compare it to the squeeze in May 2024, also a sign. I mean, really, this was also May 2024. Same like AMC and GME. So, but here I think that's the perfect explanation of what we could do. Because if you look here, you just did your V, you did a higher low, and in the moment this higher low was finished, you ran 16,000% or 10,000%. Also, an example, it can't happen. Yeah. Okay. Now for the micro tracking for FFAI. The thing is, I think FFAI is not finished till Friday. Yeah. It wouldn't make sense for me. So for the explanation, which we could now say, okay, then AMC and GME is also not running next week, MEMES synchronization, but maybe, yeah. But if our V is true, April 7, 2026, we went up, but we didn't broke T. We rejected under it. So the only thing which really is rejecting under T is higher low. So this would be the peak of our higher low. This would be our lower high, midpoint. And I said already that there was the bullish alternative where this is still B and we would go up here. But if you break the 786, this can't be B anymore. And we broke the 786. So this is just M. And I'm really pretty convinced that this is just T. So what would we do this week? Well, this week we have to knife down. Our target is 27 cents because this is V under A. Our 786, which a higher low is normally doing, is sitting here at 25 cents. That's why I made you this little bounce area here. This is, in my opinion, the area you will bounce. 27 to 23, 22, something here. This would be the finish till Friday. Monday the 18th, you have the chance to go. Also here, just a warning. Yeah? If you touch or break 20, in my opinion, it's finally over. Because then this is again a T and you will drop under 10 cents. Reverse split, bankruptcy, OTC, something like that. If we're holding this point this Friday, do it. We can do something stupid. If we break this, in my opinion, it's over. But I could be wrong. Right now, there's still a chance and it still looks interesting. Also, because of FFAI, GNS is the next one. Because GNS is in the same boat, really, right now in the same boat like FFAI. IPO was just a peak and since then we are falling. Lower high, midpoint T. The only way to save this company is that April 2025 has to be the all-time low. And since then, we are doing the higher low. Before we go into the micro tracking, next move up for our A has to be something over 6. B over 84 and C breaking all-time highs or whatever. GNS had a reverse split, but it's just a tiny one. It's a 1 to 10 and only 1. So in my opinion, there is the possibility you're coming up in these ranges. Yeah, not so like FFAI because here are still normal prices. Also like FFAI, if you look at M, at T, quite higher low, lower high and so on, I see a pretty good chance you're not doing A and B pullbacks. Yeah. In that case, you have really also the chance, whatever is finished here, you just do candle up. Yeah. And GNS has no option chain. So I would say that GNS has even a greater chance to do something stupid, because stocks without option chains have the most craziest moves. The news for that is easy. They are suing Citadel. So they are winning, we squeeze. If the Fractal is bearish, they lose. Pretty easy. For the higher low. I already showed that earlier. And I also said I have a position. Yeah, I bought here. Back then, this was tracked as higher low. Well, this higher low, of course, died. Yeah. So this became T. Pretty same as FFAI. And we knifed. The thing is, we also are now in the place where we have to bounce. Something in this range. And I mean, I don't see that GNS is synced with the memes, just saying, because first of all, it is too young. It's April 2022, the IPO. And if you look at May 2024, it was just doing this. So FFAI could be synced with the memes. GNS, I think it's doing its own thing, just saying. But for shares, who cares? We have time. Yeah. So if we're not moving with the memes in the next week, you could still just do a micro higher low and then go, just saying. But the same thing like FFAI, even the same price, and that's the crazy part, you're not allowed to touch 20 cents or break it. My stop loss, I said that in the previous videos, is 20 cents. If you touch or break this shit, this thing is dying. End of story. Yeah. Also, will fall under 10 cents, delist, reverse split, bankruptcy, whatever. Yeah. As long as we here, everything is perfect. Just don't touch or break 20 cents, please. But before we go into two perfect plays, one YOLO play, and to make that absolutely clear, this is an absolutely fucking YOLO play, okay? Only put money into this and no financial advice, which you just light on fire, for example, which you don't care, okay? It's the same category like HGT, for example, which I showed in previous videos. But it looks interesting. I have found this stock only because someone wrote on Twitter, how is that possible? That this stock is dropping 100% in 2 days without holds, without news. Which it did. I looked it up. No news. From Wednesday till Friday, it just dropped 100%. I mean, it's some kind of financial company, who cares? Yeah. But the thing is, when I look at this, every time when I see something like this, the first thing I get into my head is, okay, is this thing now go bankrupt? Or how is the Fractal look like? Was this move already happened before? So for the Fractal, it's quite easy. Yeah. I mean, it's older company, not much price action, but it's quite easy. You have your C, you have your lower high, you fall down, you're doing your M. M started here, M is ending here. Here is your T starting, you come up, and your T is ending here. So what comes after T? V. So there's a good case this here was your V. Or you go bankrupt. One of two things. Next thing is, did this happen already in the past? And the crazy part is, it could already have happened, because you just have to do this here is one Fractal. This is already, in the best case, the second Fractal. This is Fractal 1. So in that case, you have here your C, you have your lower high, you have your midpoint, you fall down. In that case, this here is this here. You make this hump. You make this hump. It's not that massive like here, but you make a higher low here. You make a higher point here. Then you make one last hump. One last hump. And then you knife to your low. And then you knife to your low. So, in the most stupid way, this low could be this low. What happens after that is this fucking candle here. In this way, in that way, that candle is bringing you easily up to 120, 144. And here comes the stupid play, because there are no options, only shares. So there's a big there is a possibility you can do this because no option chain means room. And you're sitting at 14 cents. And you have the possibility to go to 120 or something like that. It's so fucking stupid. Yeah. But again, I have $100 in this, 500 shares. Yeah, because it's really just a YOLO play. But if, oh my God. And there are no news. The only news which is pending right now is there is a buyout. There could a buyout be coming. Yeah, there's no yes. As the buyout is still in the work. There was no answer to it. So I would just imagine if the answer is no, this stock is gone and bankrupt. If the answer is yes, you could see this stupid candle, for fuck's sake. That's why. Yeah. Let's see. Little YOLO play. Don't take it seriously, but it looks interesting. Okay. Next one is DJT. So for DJT, again, whole story today. It started its IPO, in my opinion, in the higher low after the V, and then just one candle up to its peak without a A or B pullback. Then we got a massive lower high, a massive M, and a massive T. And for the bullish tracking, our all-time low and our V has to be April 2026. Before we go into micro tracking in here, the only thing which is still missing now would be a macro high low and then your A and B. Your A has to be over 60, your B has to be over 80, and then the only question is, are you breaking all-time highs or not? Here also the interesting part that if you look at the moves of our main letters and especially the move of our IPO, there's a pretty good case that you don't do A and B pullback, and wherever we are finished, we just go vertical, just saying. Also, before we go into this, there's a pretty good chance, maybe, that after this micro high low, you don't even need the macro high low, and you just go up from here. Yeah, I will show you my idea of the play at the end. So, for micro tracking, I already said that in the video on Friday, in the short alarm video, it looks fucking finished. Yeah, because here's our V, all-time low in April. We did a little higher low, A, B, C. This here is just our little higher low of T. This little higher low is this high, for the higher low of this T. Okay, and how is this higher low looking like? Well, I said on Friday, we were, I think, where were we? We were here. We still not finished. We have to go lower to V and A. And look what we did. Picture perfect. Even if we look at the 786, picture perfect. We snapped under it and bounced. Yeah. So in the best way possible, we're just going. Also, just saying, I said here, we have to go down. We will bounce here, come up. We have to go down. Picture perfect. It's this DJT is a picture perfect version if tracking is just fucking easy. So if we're not going on Monday, yeah, I would say you could still do a micro higher low for this, but then you go. How would that look like? Because we have an example for this. It would be here, because also perfect example. Yeah? You could even say we're just repeating this, because if you compare these two, it's fucking nearly 1-to-1. Yeah? But also here, we did a V, higher low. Here, perfect example, what we could do still this week would be, here's our micro higher low. Yeah? That's what I mean with micro higher low if we're not going on Monday. Yeah. But also interesting is, in the moment, you have to look at this micro higher low. I mean, we're on the 1 hour. Yeah. In the moment, this micro higher low, yeah, was finished. Suddenly we got merger news and it just went up. Okay, so what could come after that? Because that's the important part. 2 things, no, 3 things, all bullish. 4 things, sorry. We start with the 4th one, the bearish one. Of course, if you touch or break 831, this is just T and you will knife, and we have to wait for the next V. Pretty easy. Not looking like that, but as an alternative. So, normal bullish checking, number 1. You're still missing the micro higher low, the higher low for the whole fractal. So, because if you look here, your T is too small to touch the main trend line. So, in that case, your macro higher low is not breaking this trend line. So, maximum $20. And then you go up. Or the macro higher low will go to the main trend line. That means $30 and then go up. Also, the moves to the upside normally on DJT are vertical. The moves to the downside take longer. So version 1, small higher low. Version 2, big higher low. Version 3, this is already the higher low and you just go. You only have these versions. Yeah? So they play. Especially because if you look at this IPO move, I mean, if this fucking thing is the little micro higher low and you just do what the hell? I don't know what the news will be for this. Yeah? Because I would expect the smallest move would be 20. Yeah? I would say 20 till September. No financial advice. So I have September 20s. Yeah? If we do the bigger one, even better. More money. If we just go up, even more better. Yeah, that would be my idea of this play. Yeah? But DJT will, and I say this again, if we do this or this, I will fucking load up down here. Yeah. So DJT will be interesting. Okay. One last sleeping giant, NIO. Because I say it again, NIO and Riot are the 2 most perfect and most easiest to tracking stocks I have. They are just perfect. And especially NIO and Riot, you don't even use my rules or my Fractal, because NIO and Riot is just pure Fractal. It's just 1-to-1 of the past. Yeah? Before we go to that, for the macro checking, yeah, IPO till 2019 was just macro higher low. 2019 till April 2025 was just A, and we would right now go into macro B, yeah, which should shoot you over all-time highs. I mean, a colleague for me is saying, okay, this is just higher low, and you just go to A, but I mean, who cares? Yeah, the end result is we're going over all-time highs. So what do I mean with one-to-one? Yeah, the thing is, if you look at this, it's the fucking same shit as this. It just is. This movement is the same as this movement. And even flip-wise, it's fucking the same, because from our V to our A, it's a beautiful 618 pullback. And now from our V to our A, it's fucking 618 pullback. Perfect. You also did here V higher low, V higher low, up to A, 618 pullback, 618 pullback. You could even say you have here a perfect head and shoulders. You have here a perfect head and shoulders. You have here a little higher low. You have here higher low. I mean, what the fuck? Yeah. It's not even hiding. Yeah, this fractal is not even hiding. So, in the best possible way, I would say you are right now here. So close before this move. Yeah. The only alternative, and I hate it. I don't have a bearish alternative. Really, I hate that. But the only alternative, you're somewhere in here. Also close in front of the barricade, but not that close. I'm absolutely convinced, no financial advice, we see this B, which would be this B, so something between 16 and 25, this summer. Yeah, my absolutely correct target would be June of 2029 for the peak of B. Yeah, but at least summer. Yeah, just to say this, no financial advice. June contracts for 15, and I mean our target is at least 16. The last time on Friday I looked, were 1 to 2 cents. That's crazy. I don't know what the news is, or will be what the news will be. If you want to play it safer, go into August. Just saying, yeah, or January. Yeah. If we get this peak this year, we have to see. This should be at least summer. Yeah. And to say that this peak is over all-time highs, 68 to 150-ish. Yeah. Also, this pullback will most likely be this pullback. This will take long. Yeah. But this pullback, this shouldn't be take long. I'm also saying, and also this is not a 0.5 pullback. Yeah, I still have to look how I can measure how deep this go, but this is just a small, tiny pullback. Yeah. But NIO, it's looking fucking interesting. Just saying. Don't sleep on that giant. No financial advice. Okay, I hope I didn't miss anything, but this video is already very long. As always, explanation video, playlist here. I will still put up the big update video here with all our stocks, but for AMC, GME, BYND, we talked about everything. Okay, well, as always, if you liked it, leave a like. If you want to see more, leave an abo. Let's see what happens next week. See ya.